Thomas Allen likes Edmonds in that spot. This is Genty out of the backfield. Genty sprung free for the Vegas touchdown.
Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Hey, welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Put On Raiders podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and I'm alongside Marcus Johnson. He of course, has taped don't lie. Sometimes when we're watching the Raiders tape this year, we wish the tape would lie to us. They wish they would, but the Raiders, just disappointing game. I thought they really played, hard and played with, just tenacity on both sides of the ball against the Bears. Kind of your thoughts about the Raiders. We're at the quarter mark here. The Raiders start off 1-3 right now, and I think we got to start with the quarterback because that's where everything starts at. Yeah, and it's a little frustrating because when you watch some of the plays are really there, and it's just he's not really anticipating some of these throws. It's just like almost like he's holding it a couple heartbeats too late, and the next thing you know, it's a defender doing a PBU or getting INT.
Yeah, I think with the Raiders offense, what you're seeing is I think they're trying to find what they want to be on offense. I think they started off the year thinking that they can come out and just pass like crazy, right?
Yep.
They thought that Geno was going to be able to execute the offense at a high level, pass. In the Patriots game, he did that, right? I thought there were some instances, though, in the Patriots game that I highlighted. And, if you're watching this and you're a channel member, you know that I highlighted those things where he missed some things then that they ended up getting away with because they got a win because I think the defense played really well that game, right? And they really controlled the Patriots, controlled the running game, made Drake May want to beat them. And it just wasn't working for the Patriots offense at that point in time. And I think that at that point, they thought that they could come out and pass a lot, right? And then we saw the Chargers game. They tried to do the same thing, right? They tried to come out and pass. They passed like 43 times. They were passing heavy, passing a lot on first down, thinking they're going to be that type of offense. That didn't work. Then Geno Smith started through 3 interceptions. Then they went to Washington, and they kind of tried to play in the middle there in that game. Like, it was like, what do we want to be? And I think they went to the Bears game. They're like, okay, this is going to be our identity on offense. So I think they're kind of finding themselves on offense and what Chip Kelly wants to do. Because, it basically what happened was like they came out very college, and I think the last game they looked more like an NFL style offense.
Yep.
And I think that was kind of the change, and I think they got more traction because even besides Geno's interceptions, I chart the games, and in the passing game they had a success rate of 71%. So that means they were moving the ball right through the air, right? So it's just Geno just made some stupid decisions, and then he made that bad pass to Thornton, and if he makes the pass to Thornton, we might forget the 3 interceptions because they win the game if he makes the pass, right? Exactly. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they play the Colts. I want to see how the offense looks against them and exactly what they want to do. Now, I know they're missing Colton Miller, but I think if they get rid of the ball out of Geno's hands, they can kind of mitigate that a little bit.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes. But I think Geno was just a little bit. I don't know. I think his confidence is down a little bit, and I think he's not seeing things downfield like he used to. He doesn't have that confidence to throw downfield like he used to. Yep. So they're gonna have to get in some easy completions until that comes back.
Yeah, talking to Marcus Johnson, tape don't lie. And we're talking about the Raiders here and Geno Smith. Offensive line now, well, you let's go back for a second. You mentioned that the Raiders are trying to find. You made an interesting point. They're trying to find out what they want to be. Mm-hmm. What do you think their best course of action should be as far as what should with knowing this personnel? We've seen it from day one of the Spytech era. What should they be doing on offense? So what should be their identity?
Well, I think their identity should be what they did in the Bears game, because I think offensively that was their best game. I mean, they only ran I mean, up until the end of the fourth quarter, that last drive, they only ran like 45 plays. They had 24 points,
Yeah.
right? Should have been 28, right?
Yes. Sure.
So they were moving the ball like crazy on
Yeah.
the Bears, right?
Yep.
And I think that has to be their identity. Whether under center, I think they got to get some more play action going, I believe.
Yep.
And I think Brock Bowers being injured is a huge factor
Yep.
either way, right? But I think they got to get to that identity where they're under center. They allow Jenny to get going, running the ball, Moser too, allowing those guys in the middle to move people, and and that's got to be their identity, in my opinion.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, that's the best their offense looked all year,
Yep.
and they weren't able to get it done just because Gino was, I don't, he was just had a bad game again. But they have to keep that identity and kind of take the ball out of Gino's hands a little bit and make sure that they're doing play action, short passes, getting the ball out of his hand, and playing around Genty. I think that it has to be all about Genty at this point going
Yeah.
forward for them to win games.
Yeah, and I think all about Genty, and I think I was saying on our show when I was talking to Ryan, Monster is one of my favorite backup running backs because he can make big plays without having without having to have a lot of touches.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, and that really nice patient run that he had, that was such a good run against the Bears, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield, pass block. Like, I mean, he can do a lot of different things. So him being a healthy scratch was just
weird.
interesting. It's
Yeah,
but there's some weird stuff going on. With the Raiders.
yeah,
Offensive line. I mean, this is gonna be this is always gonna be it's like Raiders coaches of the past always want to have like a little bit of a war with fans without having a war with fans because there's a guy like JPJ is very beloved by the fans. They want to see him out there. They want to see him playing center. Meredith is, I mean, it's hard to watch Meredith at times.
mhm,
And he hasn't played center at all really in his career, and to throw him in this situation, I'm not sure what the thought process is, but is he getting better at all? Like, I mean, it's from, I mean, are we seeing improvement? Because I mean, a lot of Raider fans are like, they remember a time where, Parham started a couple games at center. So like, I mean, we have our least experienced center playing center
yeah.
right now for the Raiders.
Yeah, I think Meredith. I think his issue is just if they line up somebody on top of him like the Bears did with
Yeah.
Billings, he's gonna struggle. I hit like just like week one, he had a real hard time with Tonga from the Patriots. Tonga was eating his lunch,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's just a strength thing, short arm thing that he has. And I think they really like him. So but they wanted to find a way to get Alex Kappa or on the field somehow. I really believe that. I really feel like they're trying to get Alex Kappa on the field,
Yep.
right? And then Kappa was
100%.
just so terrible against the Commanders that they just couldn't,
Yeah.
right? So I think that was kind of what they were trying to do. They're like, okay, well, we want Alex Kappa to play.
Yep.
So since Meredith can't play right guard for us at this point, we think his arms are too short to kind of play guard for us. Let's try to put him in a competition with center with JPJ. And what ended up happening is that he I guess he understood the calls a little bit better than JPJ
Yeah.
because JPJ was I talked about this on my show. JPJ was the center through OTAs and minicamp. I
Yep.
mean, it wasn't like he wasn't and there was like nobody was talking about, oh, there's a competition during mini camp or OTAs. There's no talk of that, right? That
Yep.
didn't happen until like the day two of training camp. They're like, oh, Demarius is a center now. So it was always something like that, in my opinion. Like I think they were trying to get Alex Kappa on the field,
Mhm.
and and then and I think that happened with that past game. Talk about the concussion, all that shit, whatever, with the Commanders. But I think they were trying to make sure that he got on the field, and he's just so awful. They're like, we can't do that.
Yep.
So JPJ is a better player at this point, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yep.
Um, and that's where we're at right now. But with JPJ. I do think he could be a really good guard, though. When Tom Telesco drafted him, it was to play guard. It wasn't
Yep.
really to play center, so we had to think about it like that. But they also still had Andre James, and you thought Dylan Parham would play center if Andre James didn't play center. That was
Yep.
your thought process. But that's where we're at right now because I even think Parham would be a good center. And even when he played center, the offensive line played pretty well. When he played center, he
A
only played
small
what
sample size, but he did play well when he played. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 2022 against the Cardinals and the Titans. I think he
Yeah.
played pretty well at center when Andre James went down. So I think that would probably be the better position. But yeah, I think right now though with Cole Miller out, I mean the ball's got to be out. They're not going to be throwing deep anymore that much. I'm going to tell you that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's going to be off play action. It's going to be very timely, right? They're going to be trying to get the ball out of his hands to protect Forsythe. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to see Charles Grant at some point. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe if they go really heavy, they might try to get his feet wet, try to get Charles Grant out there that way. I'm almost interested to see, and I don't wish anything bad on the Raiders. I'm just sick. I'm sick of watching bad football, but I almost feel like because Vincent Bonsignore asked that question about the offensive line a couple weeks ago, and I almost wonder if Jordan Meredith went down, are they gonna go stay true to that and go practice squad? Are they gonna or would they actually succumb to it and actually put 58 at center? Like I just kind of wonder if they would actually like I kind of want to see what they would do for that week. Just
Yeah,
one
that,
just 1 week to see what they actually how hardcore are they about not playing him at center?
that's a good point. Like, would they put Will Putnam in? Is basically like,
That'd be brutal. That would
right,
be brutal.
right,
I
right.
think I think they would. I think they would
Yeah,
at this point. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, because you heard Chip Kelly talk about JPJ today, and Glenn sent me that tweet when he was kind of like, yeah, he's getting a little ahead of himself. He's getting a little big head about his performance. It was like, man, like, wow, what are
Dude,
your
they
problem with
have
him?
they have an all out war against Jackson Powers Johnson. Like, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like any kind of positive, they just won't even. I mean, he's just always active too. He's always in on every play.
Yeah,
He blocks to the echo of the whistle, kind of like a Steve Wisniewski,
yeah, exactly.
offensive lineman. So I think Raider fans love that part of it. Genty breakout game for him. Yeah, get him the football because his low center of gravity is his biggest asset in my mind because you cannot. It's difficult to once you get him to bring him down because he's so small. You saw on touchdown run. You saw on both touchdown passes that he received. Thoughts about Genty here, and could we possibly see a screen pass this week?
Yeah. I mean, we did get one to Brock Bowers.
It was a good. It was a good play. It was a good play. It was slick. It was a good play. It was a good play.
We did get one this week. But what I think they got to keep doing is the under center stuff. I think that was a big change. That's what I'm saying. They went more pro this week, right?
Yeah.
And I think they got to stick with that. They got to stick with the pro. And then, Genty standing up too. I mean, that was a huge change, obviously, for him. You
Yeah.
saw his vision come back. He was playing a little bit more free. He wasn't trying to just force himself to where the play is supposed to go. He wasn't thinking as much. And you saw him just play a whole lot better. And I think that's got to be a factor. You got to keep getting him the football. I think that he has that ability to, we obviously saw him break one for 64 yards.
Yep.
We saw everything that we thought we would see when they took him
Yep.
this week. And I think that they have to keep doing that. I think they got to get him more involved in the passing game, though.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Stone Forsythe, the one touchdown pass that they had to him on the choice route. I mean, I think you got to do more things like that with him out of the backfield, run those choice routes, get him involved in this passing game, and make those things happen where he becomes a factor every single down. And
Yep.
and he blocked pretty well this week. I know he had that bad week blocking against the Chargers, and I was like, that went viral and all that stuff. But he blocked a whole lot better this week, and I think he's more prepared to be that third down back, and I think he's more ready for that at this point. So
Yep.
yeah, the offense has to go around him until Bowers gets healthy, because I think that's like I said, a big factor with the passing game. Because Geno Smith did look really good with Bowers healthy.
Yeah. He did.
Right.
He did. Yeah.
And it's to be fair, right? And if Bowers can, start to get healthy a little bit, hopefully Michael Mayer is back this week. I think he did practice today. If he can get back this week, then I think it's gonna help out a lot too, just in the run game as well.
Yeah. It should be fun to see. Hopefully, I mean so like when you get these pieces going, then you can see like the youth of the skill positions for the Raiders. Like you can see,
Yeah.
get a little positive thought process about that coming up in these next couple of years here. Positive and negatives about Mr. Kelly here. We're calling plays.
Uh, I think my issue with him was just kind of just trying to force like a college offense onto the field
Mhm.
the first few weeks, and I think that was a little bit of I don't know if it's just arrogance a little bit in my opinion, trying to make his system like work, and it's weird. It was like it was like he went back to Oregon the first few weeks. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't really Ohio State didn't really run
For
some of the
the
stuff that he was running.
for the listeners and the people who are watching, can you give an example of like that of like him going from like him like being in a pro in a college sense and then now
Yeah.
being a little bit more the pro sense?
Yeah, so I would say it's the play calling.
Yeah,
So, I mean, there's a play, an air raid play. It's a classic air raid Mike
yeah,
Leach play called White Cross, right?
yeah,
And I watched Ohio State film a lot. I don't remember them running White Cross that much,
yeah,
right? I feel like that he was running way more West Coast stuff with Ohio State with Will
yeah,
Howard like under center. I mean, there was some spread stuff and some zone read stuff in the run game, but it was more like under center with Will Howard play action. It just felt more pro, so I expected him to kind of bring that to the NFL. But like week one, and I'm just seeing all these white crosses, and I'm like, what is this? And I had to Google him, like, and I was like, oh, that's white cross. So like, why is he running so much air raid stuff? And it
yeah,
felt very Mike Leach air raid spread
yeah,
offense, right? Start off, and then when you're running the ball that way, it's a little bit harder. I mean, all the runs are from shotgun. You know what I mean? Like it was
yeah,
just pure spread college offense from the spacing that the guys players had. Sometimes the spacing wasn't the greatest from the players. You saw that a lot better this week from the spacing
yeah,
aspect. A lot of those things changed up this week where they just became more pro offense, a lot more short passes, saw a lot more choice routes to, quick outs, the quick 12-yard outs, quick things to get the ball into Gino's hands quicker, kind of protect the offensive line. So he wasn't under pressure as much. And a lot of those things, weren't happening week 1 through 3. They're like holding the ball a long time, trying to hit deep every single time,
yeah,
trying to run all these deep concepts, trying to run all these things that they were trying to do and really attack downfield like they were Oregon, to be honest. And it was just weird to watch. Like why would you go run a pro style offense at Ohio State and then come to the NFL and then go back to your college style? That it
yeah.
was just weird to watch that. But like I said, this week, if they could play the offense they play this like this going forward, I think they're gonna right the ship and play a lot better.
Yeah, and then I think ball control might be a little helpful for the Raiders too as well. Hold the ball a little bit longer. Just to keep put the defense and then let the offensive line running the football as well.
Yeah.
All right. I think we covered with the Raiders. I mean, obviously they got some new challenges coming up here with the Colts coming up this week. The Colts have been an interesting team this year. They've been one of the best offensive teams in football this year, which is pretty surprising with Daniel Jones. Any thoughts on how they attack the Colts?
So I think with the Colts, I mean, what they got to do is really what they have to do is kind of just open it up with the run game. I think the Colts, with their defensive line, I mean, they got some decent players over there, but there's nobody that really scares you. I mean, DeForest Buckner, still a good player, but they don't have a lot of other guys that really scare you. I mean, I think UCLA is a pretty good player. I don't know if he's hurt or not though. You haven't heard too much from them. I think the Colts defense just hasn't been making like a lot of noise for you to really be too
Yeah,
worried about them. I just think the offense has really caught people off guard a lot with Daniel Jones playing well and their way they're using Daniel Jones distributing the ball and being more of a point guard, and Jonathan Taylor having a big year.
yeah,
Yeah, so I think that their offense is a little bit more something to worry about, but because even outside with their cornerbacks, I mean, they had Xavier Howard playing a lot, and he got cut, so I mean, that means they got a backup coming in no matter what. I mean, because
yeah,
Howard was playing, it wasn't like he was not playing out there. He was out there playing, and he wasn't playing well, so they had to go to another guy. They released, I think they let go Julius Brents and all those things. So
yeah,
a lot of those guys they had over there aren't there. Isaiah Rodgers was there for a couple of years. He's in Minnesota making a whole bunch of plays. So yeah, I think there's a lot of no names. I mean, they still have Kenny Moore over there. He's still a guy. Some of the linebackers, I believe, are like EJ Speed. Some of those guys I think believe are still there. But yeah, the defense isn't nothing that should scare you that much, in my
yeah.
opinion. But yeah, I feel like they're going to be able to run the ball this week and and be able to move the ball that way and make some plays that way and make sure that they're kind of like I said, keeping everything on schedule, and just got to get Gino to kind of check down and kind of trust that if something's not there and he's confused, which is a big thing for me. Like if you're confused and they're running some exotic coverage that you don't understand, because I think Lou, especially Lou,
Amaro.
Warner, yeah, or Bruno, what he's gonna do. I mean, he's gonna do whatever else is doing, and he's gonna do it even better, in my
Yeah.
opinion. He's one of
Yeah.
the best at disguises,
Yeah.
and he's got to be ready for that. And my thing is, if you're confused, check it down. I mean,
Yeah.
we always get mad at Derek Carr doing that. But like you think about it, like if you take Derek Carr confused, you might check it down to somebody. We get mad about it. But like now we're like, check it down, please, Gino. Don't force it. Throw 3 picks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I mean. So like it comes to that. Like we need you to, if you're confused, just throw it to Genty. I don't care what's happening right
Throw
now.
it to Genty, throw it to Bowers, throw it to more Raheem. Like, yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. No question about it. I get it. It makes sense. Just keep the chains moving. Or, I mean, sometimes the best thing for a drive is just a punt. Like, it's not really that. Like, I mean, it's really if you're just not turning the ball over, you're just punting. Everything is the defense can get defenses on schedule. You're on schedule, and in the game, I think it's gonna be a game in the high 20s this week. I think both teams will move the football.